Howdy folks, welcome back to Sailing Slow Motion. So we have spent the past week just recovering from the EC, the Everglades Challenge. My body took a beating and I didn't really realize it until after the fact. So when I got home and I slept, and like a day later is when everything really started to hurt. So my wrist is feeling a little bit better. It's still, there's still some issues there, but it's definitely on the mend, which is good. And now it's time to focus on getting the boat ready for the next adventure. So I got a comment about the Florida 120. So I know that the Texas 200 is on the horizon, but the Florida 120, I didn't know anything about it. And after watching some videos, this is definitely something that I'm willing to do. And after the Everglades Challenge, it looks relatively easy. You know, it's you drop your boat off, you launch, you do the 120, and it ends back where you start. So transportation is easy. The race, you can have a motor, which is easy. And all the videos, the weather looks really nice. The water is pretty calm. Everyone's sailing at like 5 knots. Everything looks about the Florida 120. It just looks very pleasant. So I'm hoping to do that. It won't make good video because pleasant things are sometimes kind of boring to watch, but to do it, I think would be awesome. But to get there, we have to fix the boat. So when I got demasted in the Florida Bay, the boom ripped out. So let's see if this shows very well. You can see how the metal's distorted here. So I need to reshape it. Now, knocking this down would be pretty easy, but I gotta bend this out. So what I'll probably have to do is bend this out and then bend it back in is probably gonna be the best. And then I have to fix the stays. So when I got demasted, and everything fell, the stay that attaches to this point right here ended up getting frayed because it just got bound in here and then just kind of popped. So a couple of the strands got busted in there. And then when we were transporting the boat back here home, the stays were in the back of my friend's truck and there was a car battery back there. And one of the stays arced the terminals and blew it apart. So it either blew the one that was frayed apart or it blew the other one. So I got to fix one or two of them, and I'm just going to recreate them from scratch. And I think I have an idea how I want to do that, and I will post that in this video on my method, and I'm pretty sure it'll work. So, all right, first thing I'm going to do is take the mast off and then assess how I'm going to hammer time this thing back together. Reshape it. So enjoy this video. Hopefully there's some educational stuff in it and maybe it's a little fun too, who knows. Okay, so I just happen to have one of these lying around. It's an extra slide for the boom. So we can take a look at this here. So it slides in, goes forward, but it comes out. So that's not good, right? We don't want that to be our boom that just goes in and comes out. So, but because I have this, I'll be able to use this as a guide, hopefully, to help shape this. This got creased back pretty far, but I think it's all manageable. First we're gonna do is bend this out, and then we'll bend this in. Okay, so we got this nice pry bar here. We got a spud wrench here. And then we're gonna use a rubber mallet. I think a dead blow would be better for reshaping this. I just don't have a dead blow with me, so we'll use a rubber mallet and see how that works. But to pry this out, let's see if we can bend it this way. Okay, so to straighten this side, it bent really easy. It's just thin aluminum, so it doesn't take much, but it feels like there's a slight curve inward right here, but I'm gonna leave that, and then we're just gonna tap this in. I think this is gonna be a pretty simple fix here, but we just gotta make it so it doesn't do that. All right, to make these final adjustments, I found a method that's working really well. So I'm taking the edge of the pry bar and just setting it on the point that's high. So like say this point right here is a little high. So I'm just laying that flat on there and then hitting it with the hammer, and it taps right down, and it works pretty good. This is, it's gonna work. So mass problem solved. I do want to tighten up just a little bit where the rope runs for the sail. So right in here, the sail does seem to pull out. So this little tab is flared out, and I think that's done on purpose, just so you can start it easier, I think. But I'm just gonna close this just a hair so that the rope fits in there a little tighter. Okay, good news, we have one good stay. One side is good. So the one that got blown apart is also the same one that is frayed on the end. So what got frayed was down on the end, down here. Oh, it's on this one. Let's see if I can capture it here. But you can see we just lost 2 strands inside of here. And then on this other end, this is the side that the battery decided to arc across, and you can see it blew the whole thing in half. So I can only imagine when my friend was driving the truck, this thing was just glowing red in there. But yeah, it looked like it got struck by lightning. It probably happened pretty quick because it's not melted through, it's just like blown through. So, but it is pretty burnt going down the line here. I do happen to have new stays, well actually they're the old stays. So I'm gonna take the long top stay from one side, and that'll replace the one that's blown through. And then the other one, I'm going to make a jig and replace at least this one that's frayed on the end. We'll see how hard that is to do. All right, so this is our coil of our old stays. Now, there's nothing wrong with these when I replace them. I just replaced them because they were old. You know, I didn't know how old they were. So to undo these, we'll just unravel this and take off what we need here. And oh, that's a bottom. So the problem with this bottom set that I got is that the length was wrong. Ordered it from Nickelwork, so. But you can see that the 2 stays, let's see, 2 longest ones here, these 2. So with those lined up, and you come down, you can see how the old stay, the one with the clip on the end, is like 2 or 3 inches longer. So, and then the same for this one over here, lined up on top, and come down, it's like 2 inches longer. So, like they're ordered off of Nickelworks, and they're supposed to be new old stock. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I have this board, and I have these screws and a screwdriver. So I use these to make a template. I'm gonna run 1 screw in and just loop this over. This isn't the one I'm using, and then run the other end and set the other screw. And then that will give me the exact length of line that I need, or wire, and I should be able to duplicate that. So yeah, so that's just screwed on here, and is ran tightly to there. So the new one will be a direct copy of that. We will also use this one that got blown in half by the battery is going to be our replacement. So this end will stay put together. So we just need to make a new end down here. And we'll also need to cut this one off, and then we'll start the new one will go on this ring right here. We have that one cut, and we're going to reattach over here. So let me come around this side. So I know where I'm going in length, right? Because we have the screws. So that one goes on here. And this one goes around this one. So I already have it kind of set up here. Just need to run this one through the little loop. And this box is our swedges. So let's see, it's probably about this size right here. feed that on there. Straighten that bend a little. All right, so now we got 2. And then our swedge tool. Well, this is being a little more difficult than I was expecting, but we'll still get it. On close. It's awkward. Okay, just needed to be a monkey and use my feet. All right, that dude's not going anywhere and it's not slipping out. So then, just need to clip the excess. These fancy clippers. Get right up on there and all right. So then that has been rebuilt. Stronger, better, longer lasting. Okay, now to double check our work. This is the one that has no damage and it's still good. So we are just going to take the one that we just made, line it up perfectly, right? And then we're just going to check the ends, and it's the end of the long one. And can you see? We are perfect. So, I mean, that's pretty darn close. Okay, so it's been a couple weeks since that last clip, and I don't really have a good reason why it's been so long. I've just been handling other business. But I thought this was ready to go at the end of that last clip, but I forgot the whole reason that mast came down was that top shackle that broke. So I need to make a new one of those, and I'm going to use the same stainless steel cable that we used for the stay, and I'm just going to clip that down and then swedge it together, and then we'll just have a stainless steel loop, and that will serve as my new top shackle. So let's do that. In the trailer, I have all my tools that I want to use and the stainless steel cable. So I'm going to make that, and then I'm going to pull the boat forward, I think, or maybe do it right here. But I'm going to set this up and make sure that everything works. I need to redo the jib sail too, because when I manually rolled it, it was pretty sloppy, and I don't even know if I rolled it in the right direction or if the direction matters. So I just want to ops check that. It is a little windy. I'll show you the flag up here is blowing pretty good, but it's like right in our face. So should still be able to do this without too much trouble, I hope. We'll see. I just like to do things anyway, you know, whether I'm confident it's gonna work or not, I just go for it. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So that's what we'll do. We'll put the jib on, unroll it, and make sure I can get everything lined up so that the rolling furled spool is the correct amount of line going in there for good operation. So, all right, let's make a shackle. Okay, so here we have what's left of the old stay that got busted by the battery, that got high voltage ran through it. So we're just going to clip it and swedge it and make a new loop about yay big. Just needs to be able to fit through the swedge. All right, so you're gonna go right here and use our angle grinder with our safety glasses, of course. All right, so that gave us our length, and then we'll just run our swedges on there and crimp it down. And hopefully I have some good music playing in the background while I fumble with this. All right, there's one. And then I'm gonna run that down there. Oh, this is gonna be pretty clean, and then I definitely don't have to worry about it slipping. All right, so it'll be similar to this. I'm gonna make it just a little bit tighter, but I gotta get the tool out and get everything set up. I like these tools, the hydraulic crimpers, but it'd be nice if I got one that was like battery powered or air powered, because just like what just happened there, it slips out of my fingers and I got to readjust everything here. You guys even see that? No. Or do you even care? Okay, so it's grabbed tight on there. I don't know if you can see. And then, so I'm on the edge of it, and that's just the best I could do while trying to hold everything in place. And then I'll just scoot it down after I get this one crimped. You can see, I'll put it in there like that, but we're getting about 5 inches, and I needed about 3 or 4, right around there. Okay, so let me show you. So this is how I finished the race, was with this Dyneema. So in the video, you saw me put this one on, and then I went ahead and did the blue as backup. So I'm just gonna replace those with the stainless steel and then install it. All right, so doing this on land is, you know, its own challenge. And I'm still surprised that I was able to do it while I was out in Florida Bay in the waves and the wind and the craziness, and without tools. Well, I had tools, but just not the proper setup that I wanted. So, all right, so what I'm gonna do is, in the Everglades, or in Florida Bay, I used this piece down here on the rolling furl to wrap the rope around, and the angle was awkward and it just didn't feel right, because I like doing it from the top of here. So this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna run the rope around here and around the mast and then cleat it off of the console. And this setup is pretty easy. So this line that's attached inside of here is how I was able to get this one to line up while I was on the water. So I had it ran through here and it was tied to there and then wrapped around here. I just couldn't get it off when I put it together, so I just left it. And just kept it as a backup. But it worked pretty good. So what happened is back here, I'll show you. This one's all bound up. So I gotta lift it and then try and get this one unstuck here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to lift it and do it. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, so it's up, but let me hold it to center. So you can see the mast is kicked back. It's supposed to be kicked back at like 15. I'd say that's kicked back more at like a 20-degree angle or better. So I can shorten the front end a few more, and then I also could always just remake that top shackle. I got the materials. It only takes a minute, but I think first what I'm going to do is just try and shorten it out down here, and then this thing's ready for water for real. Woo! I'm so bad at my camera angle sometimes. I'm just coming over here to get out of the wind a little bit. But okay, well, boat's back together, and let me get my face back in the sun. Boat's back together, and it looks like we are good to go for the next adventure, which is in a couple weeks. I might do something before then. I do need to get back on slow motion, the bigger boat, and do some work on that. So that might be the next video. So unrelated to wind riders, but more towards the monohull. So that's where we're at. Thank you for joining me. I will see you all next time. Bye.